The Suckler cow scheme has two elements that aim to encourage more efficient breeding practices: to reduce the age at first calving for heifers and to reduce the calving intervals of suckler cows. Both elements are outlined in this section. Age at first calving. An age at first calving payment will be made in respect of each eligible heifer that has its first calving event within the scheme targets. To qualify for an age at first calving payment, an eligible heifer must be at least 21 months old when its calf is born and not more than the maximum age for the relevant scheme year at the time its calf is born. The minimum age for any calving event will be 21 months. The maximum age for calving events will be 34 months old for the 2025 to 2026 scheme year, 32 months old for the 2026 to 2027 scheme year, 30 months old for the 2027 to 2028 scheme year, and 29 months old for the 2028 to 2029 scheme year. Any calving events below the minimum calving age or above the maximum calving age for the relevant scheme year will be deemed ineligible. For example, when the animal is 34 months and 1 day old, it will be deemed ineligible for the 2025 to 2026 scheme year. This rule will follow through each year of the scheme based on the maximum age at first calving for that year. Calving intervals. A calving interval payment will be made in respect of each eligible cow that has its second or later calving event within the scheme targets. An eligible cow must have a calving interval of at least 271 days after its previous calving event and not more than the maximum number of days for the relevant scheme year. The calving interval calculation starts the day after a calf is born and ends on the day a subsequent calf is born to the same eligible cow. An eligible cow must have a minimum calving interval of at least 271 days since its previous calving event. The maximum number of days in calving intervals must not exceed 415 days for the 2025 to 2026 scheme year, 405 days for the 2026 to 2027 scheme year, 395 days for the 2027 to 2028 scheme year, and 385 days for the 2028 to 2029 scheme year. Any calving events that occur less than at least 271 days after the previous calf, or more than the maximum number of days allowed for the relevant scheme year, will be deemed ineligible. For example, if the calving interval is 416 days, then it will be deemed ineligible for the 2025 to 2026 scheme year. This rule will follow through each year of the scheme based on the maximum calving intervals for that year. In addition, a calving event where the birth of a live or dead calf born outside of the annual target for the scheme year will not be eligible for payment. However, the birth will be counted as a calving event for the purposes of the calving interval calculation.